I am Orlando and you are watching Sin City Cycling, and I just got done recording the video with my tire of choice, the GP5000s, and I figured I'd make a short how-to video for those that are looking for some basic skills on road bikes, which the most basic of skills would be knowing how to change a tire. And I've been doing this quite a while, and I've seen plenty of people out there who don't know how. So I figured we'd go ahead and take a few minutes, and I'll show you how I do it. I thought we'd take a second to take a look at what I carry on every ride. And that's my little gear bag that I carry in the middle pocket on my jersey. And it consists of things that I'm going to use out on the road. Let's see here. We got our tire levers, which we're going to be using those in a minute. This is a multi-tool by Topek. It actually has a chain tool as well, which I've actually used that. It's in another video. But it also has tire levers, which aren't the greatest, which is why I carry actual other tire levers to help me removing the tire bead. I just picked this up not too long ago, and it is a mini pump. I used to use CO2, but I found that this weighs about the same as a CO2 cartridge, and I can get unlimited air out of this. It takes a little bit longer to fill up the tire, but in a case where you've had multiple flats on the same ride, I used to ride with two CO2 cartridges, and once the two are gone, I'd be screwed as far as how I'm going to fill a tire if I have a slow leak or something like that. And this is what I went with. This is an adapter on here for Presta. This little piece here actually adapts to both, but I found that it has a better seal with the adapter. But this is a decent little pump. I think I picked it up for less than 20 bucks, but it fits in my gear bag. I have a knife. I changed or repaired a tubeless tire out on the road once for someone who didn't know how, and I found I didn't have a way to cut off the tips of the plug once I plugged the tire. So I've been carrying this little knife in my gear bag since. Let's see. This is my year pass for Red Rock. Here I have my ID and my card just in case. I have some extra cash in here, and these I highly recommend here. Okay, and that is the Super Patch. These are made by Park Tool, and really is a lifesaver here. It's no glue, no bonding agent. All you do is stick and peel. And we can see here it comes with a little scuffing pad, and the actual patch is this little, I don't know if you can see the alternate color there. This little yellow color thing is the patch. You just peel it off and stick it. And I've found that this is the fastest way to repair like a thorn puncture or a piece of glass out on the road. It's quick. It's not permanent, but it will last. I think the last one I had lasted about a month before I actually had to change the tube. But in a pinch, this is something I definitely recommend. They're not that expensive. Amazon has them for about $8. And this thing will save your life out on the road. Trust me on this one. These work well, and is something I've carried since I first started riding. But that's my gear bag. I thought we'd take a quick look at what we got there, and that's what I carry every day. Okay, so first things first, you've got a flat out on the road. The first thing you're going to need to do is remove it. And I have a skewer, so just pull back the skewer, undo the lock nut just a touch. And there you go. First thing you're going to want to do is, after you get the flat, if there is still some air left in the tire, go ahead and use the Presta valve to let the rest of that out. And for those of you who don't know, the little valve here on the top of the Presta, you want to unscrew it until it won't go anymore, and then you can push it to let the air out. So you want to take out your tire lever, find the bead of the tire here, and you can see here, maybe you can't, but it's right there on the other side of the rim, and the lever has a little spoon here to get underneath the tire, so that's the part you're using first. So you want to go ahead and get under there. Of course, it's going to be stiff today. And then you want to run the tire lever around the tire. And if you have the tube caught in there, it's not going to want to go. Okay. Run it around the whole tire there. That first bit is always the hardest, as is the last little bit. So go ahead and run it around the entire tire until you have the whole bead out of half of it. Okay. Then I hold it valve side up, and I peel open the tire a little bit until I can get a good handle on the tube, and then I pull the tube out at the valve first. And then the rest of the tire will come right out, or the rest of the tube will come right out. And then it's a good idea, depending on what you've run over, to let your fingers run underneath the middle of the tread and the tire, so you can feel if there's anything still stuck in your tire. I have been caught out on the road, and I hadn't checked if there was something in the tire, and I found myself changing a tire right away after I just changed one because there was still a piece of metal stuck in it. So that's always a good idea to run your finger along the inside of the bead to make sure that there is no debris stuck in your tire. Okay. Let's see. So that's on the right side. So it'll be faced like this. So the front would be that way. So the first thing you're going to want to do is drop one side of the bead onto your rim. Okay. And go around the whole tire. Make sure that that bead, just the one, is seated completely all the way around. Okay. Now I like lining up the tire designation with the valve spot, but now that I'm saying that, I don't think I'll be able to move this thing out here. Okay, so there we go. And the valve spot on these rims here is this circle, so I want to get that to the circle. And that's on there now. Okay, now you take your replacement tube. Yeah. Okay, make sure it's open, and you want to blow a little bit of air into it. And then I go ahead and I lock that off by tightening the valve. And that little bit of air helps with not pinching the tube. Okay, after you blow a little bit of air into the replacement tube, you're going to want to start valve first. That's how I do it. So go ahead and insert the valve and make sure it goes all the way through. Alright, now you're going to want to use your fingers to push the tube into the rim valley all the way around. Okay. Then you're going to want to start re-adding the bead. So use your fingers to go around the tire to do that. Make sure you're not pinching the tube in there, otherwise you'll be doing this again right away. So follow it around, push that bead over the rim, and you can usually do most of it with your hands. That last little bit and the first little bit is always the hardest to get on there. Makes it easier for me. Okay. And we're getting to the last little bit here. last little bit, I usually use a lever for. Now you're going to want to use the spoon section just like you used to take the tire off, except this time you're going to be putting that spoon onto the rim underneath it. Okay. And that'll help you get that last little bead part on. There. Now it's on. Then you're going to want to go around the tire and inspect and make sure that it's seated properly all the way around. And sometimes at the valve area, you have it not seated as well. The bead hasn't actually seated. So in order to get that to seat properly, you just push up on the valve in the rim here, and then you could get that bead on there. But mine is already pretty good to go. So, and that's pretty much it. So next is just filling the tire with air and giving it your proper pressure, whether it's a CO2 cartridge or a pump, excuse me. And that's pretty much how you change the tire. Okay, I figured that we would touch real quickly on how to remove the rear tire if you get a flat on the rear. And it's similar to the front, only you have to move around the derailleur. So you're going to want to loosen it the same way you did the front, undo the lock nut, and once the tire is loose, you're going to want to grab the derailleur, pull it back a little bit so you can clear the chain, and then pull up on the tire. And that's how you get it out. Okay, reinstalling the rear. Alright, now as before, you're going to have to mess with the chain here. So what I do is I put the chain over the cassette first, and then I grasp the derailleur here as I am extending the arm. And then the tire fits right in there. So go ahead and tighten that down. And then I usually pedal to get it back into the right gear, so I'm not doing that when I pull out. And that's the rear tire. As always, please, if you like the kind of things we're doing, consider hitting that like and that subscribe. I am Orlando. This is Sin City Cycling. Peace.